panel, I would love for you guys to all throw up some emojis for our first keynote speaker. Can we do that? Can we throw up some love? Yeah, I'm seeing some hearts, I'm seeing some hands. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our opening keynote speaker of the day, Hrish Lotlikar, a super guy who co-founded and is the CEO of a super AR company called SuperWorld. Did I mention how super he is? Hrish had a long history of working in Silicon Valley and with rock star talent alike, which makes sense because he's obviously a rock star himself. I mean, check out that hair. Here he is today to talk to all of us about about an incredibly important topic, building a safe space in the open metaverse. Please join me in welcoming Hrish to the stage. Throw up some emojis.
Woo! Hey, thank you. Turn around here. Okay, yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks so much for having me. I am very excited about what we are all working on here at Metaverse Safety Week, and we've come together to really, again, promote safety in the metaverse and to create a metaverse that we can all be very proud of and that's very inclusive, and that really, in our case with SuperWorld, really fits with our mission, which is building a better world. I'm going to talk to you today about how we view the metaverse, some high-level trends as it relates to the metaverse, and what has gotten us to where we are now and what's coming in the future. And then I'll dive into SuperWorld a bit and tell you more about what we're working on at SuperWorld and why we think that metaverse safety is so important for how we build and how we think about our vision at SuperWorld for building the metaverse and making it a very inclusive environment. So with that, I'll go ahead and start. What is the best way to get into the presentation? Yep, there you go. So, I think we've all seen over the last few years that everyone, whether you wanted to or not, has realized that virtuality is helping you solve a lot of problems, whether it's in your work life, your entertainment life, in education. Through before and after COVID, we've seen a large increase in the number of users and time spent in virtual environments, and I think we're seeing it here in AltSpace today. Next slide, please. Do I just flip it? Okay. Blockchain's been very important for that virtuality. So we've, again, through the use of blockchain technology, we're providing innovation, integrity, transparency. We're providing immutable property rights. The ownership economy is really coming from the utilization of blockchain technologies. And really, I think decentralization is a very important aspect of what we're discussing this week at Metaverse Safety Week. The importance of decentralization is that it enables all of us to be able to become stakeholders in the environments that we are living in, that we're working in, that we're playing in, that we're building together. And so it's really important as we think of these decentralized environments that we're creating together, that we're optimizing how these environments are built. So that way we can, again, foster the safety that's so important for the future of these environments. We want to make sure that that we're building worlds in a way that really cares for all of the individuals and the rights of the individual, the data, the privacy, all of the things that are very important. Because as we use blockchain, we have this, great technology, but we want to make sure we're designing it in a way that really is, again, valuing safety as a paramount concern. And so, again, those are the things that blockchain brings to strong virtual worlds. And it's really important for us to come together as a community to make sure that we're implementing these things and designing these things in the right way, which is our focus at SuperWorld. Next slide. Over the last 12 years, we've seen a very interesting evolution of technologies, going from the smartphone revolution in 2013, where companies started building right on mobile and on smartphones natively, and realizing that being able to have computing in a very mobile way was the way to access applications like Uber, like Airbnb, and others that have given us this kind of, geo-localized computing environment. Pokemon Go took that even further, adding augmented reality to that, being able to go into real world environments and access interactive 3D, characters, and to be able to interact with them in real world locations, and really showed us that augmented reality could be a very compelling medium. A lot of people don't know, but Pokemon Go was the fastest company in history to hit $1 billion in revenue. They did it in 7 months. And Niantic has done, really well, and has continued to come out and innovate in a variety of ways. Blockchains and NFTs really came to the scene in 2017 with CryptoKitties. 2020, we saw crypto mass adoption with more and more users getting into crypto. NFTs really became the word of the year in 2021, along with Meta changing its name to Meta from Facebook. So, I think that really brought all of these conversations that we've been having for years into the forefront, into the mainstream consciousness, which was very important. And I think where this is going in the future is augmented reality, and that is going to be our gateway into the metaverse. And over the next few years, we're going to see how that plays out. Next slide. And again, AR is going to be that gateway. So we're very excited about what's coming in the future with technology as it relates to glasses, XR in general. Again, I'm wearing a Oculus Pro, Quest Pro. Pass-through is already, very much available. And I think this is going to change how we access the world around us. And so we're very excited about that. The AR cloud is coming fast. And very soon, we're going to be, again, working and playing in these environments and adding these environments that we're in now to real world locations. We kind of did it with this event. Again, we have a lot of users that come and see what's happening in the real world and SuperWorld, and this event is taking place in the Taj Mahal. So even in an environment where people are looking for real world events, they can come into a virtual environment. So it doesn't exclude VR, to be clear. What we want to do is bring in, XR into real world locations. And I think that's what this is about. Now, the important thing about fungibility and non-fungibility as it relates to digital assets is the powerful thing about non-fungibility is everything we see around us is non-fungible. That's what makes NFTs so powerful, is that NFTs really can, again, identify, categorize, name the world around us, and give each one of those distinct objects, whether it's your house, whether it's any of your photos and memories, whether it's all types of collectibles that we've collected, we can, again, be able to provide digital certificates of ownership to everything around us. And that is why NFTs are going to become so powerful, is really providing that real world benefit. Go to the next slide. Now, the future of all of this is going to happen with DAOs, DeFi, and real-world utility. Some of us are already in DAOs. Some of us are already interacting with DeFi. But over the next 3 to 5 years, this is where a lot of the mainstream audience is going to get benefit. And I see that third category is real world utility, is that's what's going to be a game changer, whether it's tickets to a concert or being able to, again, interact with your community, being able to engage with your customers, being able to, again, utilize AR and VR to enable someone to make a shopping purchase, to be able to buy a product digitally instead of physically so they can, again, benefit the environment. Real world utility, I think, is going to, again, slowly seep into our mainstream consciousness, our lives in a variety of different ways. And that is how we're going to all slowly, before we know it, start interacting with the metaverse. And a lot of us in this room are already doing it. So we know how we think about our physical lives and our virtual lives and how those are coming together. But most people are going to start experiencing that very soon in the next 3 to 5 years. Let's go to the next slide. So what we're doing at SuperWorld, for you guys who aren't completely familiar, is we've built a virtual world mapped on top of the real world that allows anyone create, discover, and monetize the world around them, around us. So we can all build a world mapped on top of the real world. Again, Pokemon Go was one of our influences. We thought, you know what? What if you wanted to do passion or music or history or safety, or, what are your other interests that you have in the world? And how do you have the power to build content in real world locations, any type of content? And that was kind of the vision, is how could we empower people to build their own world? And then we brought Web3 into that. Again, if everything's an NFT, if the whole world is NFTs and able to be represented as NFTs, how could we bring Web3 so you could own the geospatial environment around you? You could own any place in the world, and you can also own the content that you're creating and be able to benefit from content other people are creating in the world around you. And so that was the big vision when we started SuperWorld. So in SuperWorld, just so you can understand it, we've divided the surface of the Earth into 64 billion virtual plots of land covering Earth, 100 meter by 100 meter. So 0.01, 0.01 longitude, latitude, covering the whole planet. And when you buy one of those plots anywhere in the world, what we see is people buy places they love. Some people buy Manhattan because they live there. Other people buy where they have a business. Other people buy where they go on vacation. But always the places that people buy are special to them, places that they think are very important to their lives. And now when they own those places, they're able to benefit from monetization that they can activate from all types of things like digital commerce, e-commerce, gaming, advertising, data, analytics, decentralized finance. So you're able to own a media asset, if you will, geographically, located and geospatial in nature. So you're able to benefit from all of the activity that happens there. And that's what the real estate is about in SuperWorld. Each plot of land unpurchased is about 0.1 ether. And so it's very accessible. And then when you own that plot, you can reprice it to whatever you want. And so that's how the land works. Go to the next slide. We have a mobile application that allows you to create, discover, and monetize anything, anywhere. And that monetization and discovery and creation really goes hand in hand. And so, again, we want you to be able to create a world, talk about, to show the world the things that you care about. And Metaverse Safety Week is a really great way for us to show, in SuperWorld, the community here. And, we're really excited about, again, enabling more and more initiatives where the world and the mainstream audience learn more about the initiatives of this community. And we're integrating NFTs and DAOs geographically in the world. And we want to be able to, again, foster communities, help communities like this raise capital to be able to get more and more attendees involved in an event like this, and be able to get more and more sponsors and other partners involved in activations that you're doing all the time. And so the mobile application will allow you to discover those things that are happening in the world around you, but also to be able to create those things yourself as well as to monetize. Next slide. Our NFT marketplace that I also just spoke about, again, is focused on real world utility. And our focus is, how do you create content, 3D, 2D audio, that unlocks real world value? So not just things that maybe have some kind of artistic interest, which is great, but really, how can we create NFTs that have some potential to create value for your business, for your community, and unlock that value with that NFT, or in another case with a DAO. So that's what we're focused on with our what's called NFT Salon. Next slide. And people are already getting together in SuperWorld, creating real world events, placing AR content in real world location, and even selling NFTs or creating ways like events in real world locations to bring more and more people together. So we are seeing kind of that real world and virtual world come together in SuperWorld. And we're seeing it very organically, which is great. This is an example of what can be built. This is such a beautiful place that we're in today in the Taj Mahal. And similar to that, a lot of people think that SuperWorld's just augmented reality, but in fact, it doesn't have to be just AR. It could be completely a VR, WebGL environment. Vesa, one of the most popular digital artists, created a whole temple in Egypt that you can walk through and see his artwork and buy his artwork. It's called the Luxor Temple. And it's a very, very elaborate temple that you can walk through. And so again, the idea here is governments are talking to us about building structures, innovation centers, embassies. The idea is literally anything can be built in SuperWorld. And we want to work with partners like you and Metaverse Safety Week to understand, how can we build things and have structures like this in SuperWorld to have conferences and events as well. And we're very open. So again, working with AltSpace, working with other partners. We're one of the founding partners, and I'm on the board of the Open Metaverse Alliance. So we're, again, very fostering of an open environment for everyone. Next slide. We've worked in the Amazon jungle. This actually really inspired me. We had tribes in the Amazon jungle and a not-for-profit approach us about adding digital art in the Amazon jungle, so people could learn about deforestation that's happening there and the efforts of the tribes to see how we can, again, get their land back and enable them to, again, build the jungle and grow trees and again, to save their cultural heritage. And so SuperWorld, our vision is to, build a better world and to enhance society. And we can do that together with these technologies. Next slide. And again, as you also are very much passionate, we're very much passionate about the same things here in terms of the SDGs goals, and really, again, doing our part in bringing people together to combat a variety of very important issues so we can, again, as a community, build a better world. Ultimately, SuperWorld is a technology, but at the end of the day, it is a community. It is a community of people that believe that we can use this technology for good, and that we can work with a wide variety of stakeholders around the world and bring, the smartest minds together to really, again, solve our most important issues and goals. So that's a very important part of what SuperWorld is, and it's in the name SuperWorld. We want to create a super world for all of us and our kids in the future. Again, I want to thank you again. It's been a real pleasure and honor to be here. Happy to take questions, but I want to leave you with the fact that, again, we build all of this together. If you want to reach out to me, please get in touch. I'm very open to working with communities around the world, like Metaverse Safety Week, that really are passionate about creating a metaverse that we all can be proud of. And that is our goal. And so again, pleasure to be here. Looking forward to seeing if there's any questions. Thank you.
We're going to allow the raise your hands feature so that if you have any questions, you can please go ahead and do that. Raise your hands and we will call you to the mic, or we'll just amplify your voice. Thank you.
Hi, Hrish.
Hey.
This is Kavya. Hi.
Hey.
Good. And thank you so much for this inspiring presentation. I'm so grateful to you for very quickly, it actually took us less than like 12 hours. It probably took like a few minutes to your team to list us on SuperWorld app. And I really love the utility and be able to be discovered. Anybody who's looking for something going on at the Taj Mahal actually can see in the SuperWorld app that we're there. So thank you for all of this support and delivering this opening keynote address. My question is for the rest of the creators and people who may not have truly understood how this connection is happening. And so what's their best and easiest way to get listed? Because there's so much happening on Eventbrite. How people can get listed on your app to get better, larger community, growing community around the app.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thanks for asking that question. So our focus right now is to create a self-service feature. So that should be coming very soon, where anyone who wants to create an event and list that event in SuperWorld can do that. You can add immersive content to that event. So you could add, this Taj Mahal or, whatever it is, if it's AR, VR content. So you can add immersive content so people can visualize what the event's going to be like. It doesn't necessarily have to be immersive. Maybe you can add videos and such, but obviously we're in the metaverse, so we want to encourage people to add content, AR, VR, MR, WebGL content that they can go into. We want to add Web3 integration to that, so we can sell those tickets as NFTs. If someone isn't able to access the event and it's an IRL event, people can attend the IRL event and maybe view that IRL event virtually through 360 video. They can join a DAO if you offer a DAO as part of your community. You can sell collectibles after the event, during the event, before the event. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to empower event organizers, community organizers geographically around the world, help them get more attention around the world. As we're trying to make SuperWorld to be the place where you discover what's happening in the world around you, and events is kind of one of the first areas that we're focused on. And we really want to bring immersive tech, AI for discovery and contextual kind of understanding of the world, as well as Web3 into being able to engage with your community. As well, all in one, and make that a self-service thing, as well as work with other ticketing partners like Eventbrite, StubHub, the other bigger kind of ticketing providers. There's a lot of them out there, but we want to, similar to what we do with wallets on the Web3 side, we have lots of wallets. We want to make it as easy as possible for an event organizer to, plug and play with whatever, platform, whatever ticketing, whatever immersive tech they want to do to bring their communities together.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I know,
thanks.
Eugene, you had a question. Sorry, I and if you want to come up to stage, we'll be able to.
Yeah. So my question is, what are you and your team doing to combat different experiences that people might put up would deem harmful to the community or inappropriate?
Yeah, so that's again why we're part of this group and really support what you're doing. Is we want to make sure that we're thinking through the processes correctly to combat that. As we go to a more progressively decentralized system, we want to make sure that that decentralized world that we're building also kind of conforms to the values that we're again very important for us at SuperWorld. That being said, I think the answer to your question is the first thing we've been doing is moderating that internally at the moment, just because we're small enough where we can do that. Over time, we're looking at some processes that are more, user involved. So kind of community processes in place where we can, determine content and, whether that fits within kind of our values and the terms and conditions of SuperWorld in a more kind of a way that we kind of distributed that authority to help kind of decide and flag issues. Ultimately, we'll also be kind of relying on AI to look at that. But again, I think for us, it's really looking at our partners like Metaverse Safety Week and XRSI and all the people here to kind of make sure that we're kind of going about this in the right way. So that's very important to us. Is I think some of these things are still being figured out. We're definitely figuring them out as well internally. So by being involved in organizations like this with Kavya and others, and Eugene and yourself and all the team here, we're very, very excited to learn more and see how we can get ahead of this.
And I think, Finn, you're next.
Cool. Well, great talk. I'm a big fan of SuperWorld, and we've done some cool stuff there. Like, love to hear a little bit about for the content creator marketplace, like for SuperWorld, like people bringing NFTs, or being as content development partners, like our position here with XRSI is to help them, have a really cool space and have their thing here, right? So we're helping kind of deliver that vision, and so I think there's a lot of people in that realm seeing so many cool world builders and 3D artists moving into the metaverse and stuff, and it's definitely part of our kind of executive summary. So I'd love to hear about some of the opportunities for content development partners to thrive on your ecosystem.
Yeah, and we're excited. And right? Is that right?
Yeah, Finn.
Awesome. Yeah, we've spent some time in Austin. I live very nomadically, spent a few years there, and close to Capital Factory, and Bob Metcalf is on our board, and we've a few different people in the UT community. So, but long story short, Metaverse Group is a big partner of ours. We're actively working with other creative partners. So we'd love to talk to you guys again. The idea here is, there's a variety of tools that we're building to make it easy to build content in real world locations, and we're making it easy to upload content created externally into SuperWorld. So, the idea is if you're creating content anywhere else, I'd love to figure out ways to build that and bring that into SuperWorld as well. So I'd love a conversation if you're open to it, to kind of brainstorm through that.
Well, fantastic work so far that you've been going. I've been following it since day one.
Thank you.
I believe we spoke on Clubhouse a few times about the cool stuff you're doing, and just been really impressed. Kudos.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would love you as well, and would love to follow up. So thank you. Thanks. And this is such a beautiful space you've created. So amazing.
Hey, everybody. Go ahead and give some emojis for our keynote speaker. Can we get some hands? Some claps?
Thank
Come on.
you.
Do. Hey, thank you so much for that
Thank you.
amazing keynote. Hey.